2007 was the year the Mario franchise went buck wild. We got the sports spin-off packed with gritty, fun personality, the most sophisticated plot to ever star the Italian plumber, the first crossover game with his former rival from the 90s, and another Mario Party. But then there was 3D Mario, which had sat unbothered for 5 years, a tense moment for Nintendo. All eyes were on them. They had created revolutionary hardware, but now it was time for them to offer the game that would match it and go hand in hand with the Wii's MO, motion outlandishness. Well, do you want to know what Nintendo did? They took one easy look at Mario and said, ah yes, Super Mario Galaxy, the Honda Civic of Mario games. In what felt like platformer manifest destiny, the Mario series was taken interstellar, critics and fans going along with it. Like with 64's 3D graphics, like with Sunshine's pressure-sensitive flood controls, Mario Galaxy made sure to showcase the new console's features, namely motion controls, to show that this was the Wii, goddammit. You cannot get an experience like this anywhere else. Then they ported it to the Switch, okay. But Super Mario Galaxy was a statement of brilliance on the behalf of Nintendo that showed they were just as capable as they've always been. Concept after concept, idea within idea, Galaxy takes Nintendo's famous slogan of innovation and wields it like a knife to flesh out design unheard of. You go from walking to soaring in just minutes, then walking on walls, then racing in a river loop, then you're a cloud, then you're fighting Cloud, then it feels like you have clouds in your eyes because the story time is making you emotional. Wait. Did I forget to mention the real reason we love this game? But there was one small issue with Mario Galaxy. Actually, there was a lot, but we're gonna do it like this. Space. Space is the largest, most explorable free container there is, and while a 3D platformer taking place there always made perfect sense, the problem comes in the form of following that up. It can be a common issue when you decide on an extraterrestrial setting that any sequel may not have nearly as much grounds for reach as if its limitless nature is a limit in itself. What can be done next that won't feel like a downgrade? Now, am I saying Nintendo backed themselves into a creative corner after Galaxy? No, not at all. But did 3D Mario as a whole suffer from this problem? In a way. For the next 10 years after Mario Galaxy, the series struggled to reinvent itself in the same manner. Galaxy 2, same setup, new levels, 3D land, 2D Mario format in 3 dimensions, 3D world, same thing, but with multiplayer. And that's not to say that these aren't solid, enjoyable games, all of which I love very much, but anyone in their Cocker Spaniel could tell that 3D Mario was not embracing that grand jump of innovation that the original trilogy was known for. I think the easiest way to recount this was some of the initial reactions to 3D World when it was revealed during E3 2013. People wanted that big new sandbox Mario game with collectibles and a fun gimmick like Flood or Planet Chains, but no, for whatever reason that wasn't happening. By all accounts in this time frame, 3D Mario was stuck. But you wanna know who wasn't? A little guy by the name of Kirby, who in those same years from 2007 to 2017 just came at us with banger after banger after banger. Koizumi notices this. He watches as the little pink ball devours and becomes whatever it pleases, drastically changing the parameters of the game with each ability. Then he has an epiphany. Perhaps it's not always about where you can go, but about what you can be. And then where you can go. Super Mario Odyssey is a masterpiece that needs no introduction, which is why there's already countless other videos praising it. But guess what? We're gonna do it again because this game deserves it. For as great as Odyssey is, it's difficult for me to convert that greatness into words, not because I can't do it, but I feel it would be pointless to. The game speaks for itself. I mean, is it not obvious from just looking at it? Check out these kingdoms. One is a low poly gradient volcano kitchen. One is a botanical industry love child. You got the ruined kingdom that looks like it was made by From Software. You got the Cap Kingdom, which makes me itch just looking at it. And the King of Kingdoms itself, New Donk City, which would be impressive in any video game. But to set a 3D platformer in the city is exactly the kind of overwhelming chaos that these games thrive on. Even the kingdoms I didn't mention are all so beautiful in their own regard, beaming with life and mystery. They are begging to have every single inch of themselves explored. Why does that sound weird? Environmentally, Mario Galaxy had the appropriate atmosphere of isolation because space. It's one of the best parts about the game, but after 2 of them and then the 3D series, I miss the days of Sunshine where each location served its own purpose to the island as a whole and felt lived in. And Odyssey brings that back with 2 of my favorite things, marriage and characters who are not me. If you are in the Hat Kingdom, there are NPCs. If you are in the Lake Kingdom, there are NPCs. If you are in the Lost Kingdom, there is nobody because this place sucks and should be avoided at all costs. Get your moons and get the fuck out. Accompanying these levels is the wedding artifact that Bowser steals, a ring, a bouquet, a cake. And while I'm not about to say anything as erratic as, "This helps define his villainous character," I do love that each kingdom almost tells a story with how things are screwed up and Mario makes it better before moving on to the next kingdom. It just helps a complete world feel so much more completed when you have restored things back to normal and you get the sense of, okay, I'm really done here. The desert is warm again, the water is sparkling, pop open a bubbly, why don't you? These levels aren't just pretty to look at though, they are each meticulously designed so that you can go at whatever pace is right and search top to bottom. For me, this was one of the biggest pushes I had coming off Galaxy, that the design was far too linear with the star shooty things forcing you forward like a conveyor belt. And if you think I'm starting to bitch a lot about Galaxy, no, even older games before that had single objectives and it felt like any reward for exploring the level beyond said objective was, if nothing else, what, star bits and extra life? One hidden star? Odyssey takes that entire system and scraps it. You can now find moons and you will not have to exit the level and start over, you can just keep going. Sometimes it'll put you at a checkpoint so it can rearrange, and that's whatever, but I love this open approach to discovery. There is so much more incentive now for the player to attempt things they might normally ignore since the focus is not put on one singular star or shine sprite or chicken emblem. And if you don't like this new system, okay, you can still just do the main objectives, pay Toad to point out the other moons, and be on your way. The beauty of it all is that it gives you the freedom of choice, and that, my friends, is the magic of Mario Odyssey. Let's talk about movement. Because the levels are only one half of this equation. How does Mario feel? How does Mario... How is he doing? Is he doing okay? That E3 2017 trailer had me so nervous. Cappy looked like a lot of multitasking for a game with so much happening at once. I was hoping it would maybe be optional, you know? Schmurda that hat. I was genuinely surprised that 20 minutes into the game, the controls had become second nature. Mario is smoother than he's ever been before, even with so many tools at your disposal. Most of the basic jumps return from the older games. In fact, the only one I didn't really see is that belly flop technique from Sunshine. And then there's Cappy, who can pretty much wave dash, throw him up, throw him down, throw him all around. It's all detailed in the action guide. There's definitely a learning process here, but it is entirely organic and encouraged. Everything that you have to work with, you will have at the beginning of the game. It's not like Metroid or Zelda. You don't gain abilities in the course of Mario Odyssey. What you do gain is the ability to think smarter and faster and boldly try to work against what the game has laid out for you. Again, this is my big thing with Galaxy. It can almost feel on rails at points, but Odyssey gives you the chance to choose when those training wheels come off. Check this out. In the Snow Kingdom, you gotta do all this stuff to drop down an icicle and then you can cross to the other side, but if you're good enough at this point, just a double hat dive can do the trick. There's spots like this all over Odyssey that offer the volume control to the player. It's why I firmly believe it's become so popular to speedrun. Complement this with the moon system, and beating the game means a different experience for everyone. Of course, no matter how you play, you'll still have to fight the fucking Fire Emblem Dragon or the flower robot that makes Persona noises. The magic of Mario Odyssey is how it bends uniquely to each player, reacting to give them the best possible playthrough it can. You only need 124 moons to beat the game. It can be a swift experience that you take on the go. But there's over 800 more to find, an intense scavenger hunt within the etiquette of a console game. Like with other 3D Marios, it's very sure to put the focus on why it is where it is, and there's no doubting that the Switch is the best home for it because it's never been easier to find a Mario game that fits for you. Whether you want it easy and short or hard and long, that's enough of that. And nowhere do I think that this is better represented than in the new mechanic that is possession, capturing. That Kirby thing from earlier in the video that you thought was a joke because it kinda was, but come on Nintendo. You're telling me Kirby didn't inspire the game at all? Then what is this? The writing was on the walls with Galaxy. If you could have power-ups that turned you into a bee or a cloud or suicidal, then it was only a matter of time before they integrated that system more naturally. It executes pretty well. I think my favorite thing to control is the tank. I really feel they could make a whole game out of this. That's because they did. Let's be real here, Nintendo. There is so much potential for this premise that not making a sequel or at least some sort of expansion would be a flush. I'm always excited to see what 3D Mario will do next, but I feel like Odyssey's light is still bright and ready to fight. Am I right? No, I'm not? Okay. Expression is really hard, guys. So I reached out to you. In an attempt to better convey why Mario Odyssey is Nintendo magic, I asked on Twitter what you guys like so much about it, and I got some great responses. Like me, a lot of people seem to really appreciate the visuals and music. The movement of Mario feels fun to just mess around with, even without objectives. The boss fights are well designed. I agree so much with this. A lot of 3D World's bosses felt like a simple jump on the head or just run away, and I got kinda sick of that. Odyssey is such a nice change of pace. And of course, Mario. From the Mario Odyssey channel. Even Protendo, we all know Protendo, absolute visionary, one of the greatest thinkers of this generation. What does he have to say about Mario Odyssey? Bowser looks nice. Alright. Let me end this video by telling you about how Mario Odyssey saved me. Yes, kind of a cliche story, but I remember the exact moment and I want to share it with you guys. I was away at university in this nasty, dirty city called Buffalo, New York. Ew, just very upset and not having a good time. Of all the things that I thought were going to get me feeling again, a Mario game would not have been it. But do you remember how 2017 was for video games? I remember when I first got to Rito Village in Breath of the Wild, heard the music from Wind Waker and thought, oh man, this series and I have been through so much together. And then in Sonic Mania, First World Second Act, that beautiful Green Hill rendition comes in and I thought, oh man, this series and I have been through so much together. And then Mario Odyssey takes you to the top of City Hall, puts you in a 2D course, lays on you the greatest vocal track in tribute to the series, and I just...